Yo, it's Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg. Give it up, our friend. These are friends of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler back on the program.
Appreciate it.
First time we had y'all together, though.
This is the first time,
Together.
First time.
We've had y'all individually. And much success on Sinners.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate that, bro.
So let's get right to that. The drop date, it's about to drop right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
April 18th.
In New York, we started on the 16th.
16th here?
Like specialty theaters, IMAX
Okay.
screens. A little early when
IMAX.
So this is high.
Yeah.
This ain't a regular.
Large format.
So I'm gonna start with you, Michael B. Jordan. You, sir, are playing two different people.
I am.
I saw the longer trailer, and I was trying to. I can't really pick up if it's two different people, or if it was someone who was going through something and thought he was two different people.
Spoilers on this one or no? No, right?
It's on. This on you.
Okay, no, wait.
No, it's known it's two of you, though.
It's kind of known that they brothers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's known that they're
It's known that they
brothers.
brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. They twin
I
brothers.
can just be
That-
slow
that-
though. That's
no,
always
you
good.
good.
In any of these interviews when I'm talking to somebody about their acting jobs,
Yeah.
just know I'm slow.
No, it's good. It's good. They're identical twins.
Okay, boom.
Yeah.
All right.
Smoke and
Identical
stack.
twins.
Smoke and stack, definitely.
You from B-Town, bro, ain't you?
Yeah, we not slow in the books.
Did you
but-
know the twins?
Yeah, the football. They play football. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They play. They actually lived across the street from my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played.
don't
Both
even
play
know.
wide receiver.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Well, it took Cougs and Ebro 8 seconds to get to some random bass shit none of
I
us
was
know
about to
about.
say, I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's not
They're
random.
twins.
It's not random. The movie is dealing with like archetypes, like and what would become hood culture. But like before it was called that. But every neighborhood kind of got a set of twins that everybody knows. You know what I mean? And the movie's playing on.
And that's what Smoke and Stack are in the movie.
Yeah.
They the twins.
Prohibition gangsters.
That is Smokestack twins. Yeah, but they from Clarksdale, Mississippi. But everybody knows them.
So why did the backdrop become Mississippi for this story?
Yeah, I mean it was a script that I written and we made with my production company, Proximity Media, which I own with my wife and our buddy Sev, and we were working with Mike. Before we had a Proximity, you know what I mean. We were working with Mike since Fruitville, but I wrote the original script based off of my relationship with my uncle James, who grew up in Mississippi, moved to Oakland in his 20s, and he was the oldest male member of our family. And whenever I would kick it with him, he would only want to listen to blues music on vinyl and drink Old Taylor whiskey. And I loved him to death, and I associated that music with him. Never really thought about the music. It was just the thing that he liked, He passed away in 2015 while we were in post-production on Creed. And, what I found myself doing when I wanted to think about him was I would listen to old blues records, and it would kind of conjure his spirit. It would be like he was sitting there listening with me. And just that act right there was what kind of inspired the film. My mother's father was also from Mississippi. He died before I was born, but he built the second story of our house in North Oakland that everybody kind of home bases out of. So he impacted my life tremendously, raised my moms and built the house that we lived out of. And so I had this urge to kind of go back to Mississippi and research and maybe make a movie about the blues.
Got it. So this is really a family movie, but with another whole story.
With a crazy ass.
Yeah.
Johnny and I were like, whoa, wait, is it zombies? Is it vampires?
Yeah.
Shit is spiritual down there.
Exactly.
And then we started
Exactly.
going to deep dive culturally, how we all have our very spiritual
Superstitions and culture.
superstitions,
Yep.
beliefs.
Yep.
So it just opened up a whole new conversation for us. But yes, I did not know where you were going.
Yeah, it's also a horror movie about vampires. Yeah,
I saw that. So when I saw the long trailer, I was like, yo, that's my man Coogler. He made these white people blood-sucking vampires. I love it. That's my guy. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
It ain't just.
What made you want to
It
go?
ain't. Hold on. For everybody taking notes at home. Hold on. It ain't just white vampires.
Yeah.
These
ain't Hanks.
These
vampires.
Now,
the
Cougs, is it?
vampires ain't got no.
This is
ain't
DEI
got
vampires.
No.
Everybody vampires.
Hey, you out of pocket, bro.
Vampires.
Hey, you out of pocket, bro. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get
Anybody.
it.
Yeah, nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe from the vampirism in this picture. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
Cougs, is that the movie throughout? Or is this on some From Dusk Till Dawn? You think you're watching one thing, then you're watching another thing?
Yeah. I mean, look, bro, like From Dusk Till Dawn is definitely an influence. I love Robert Rodriguez. He got another movie called The Faculty, that's maybe even a bigger influence on this movie. But he a hero of mine, man. I got a chance to show him the movie actually in LA.
Wow.
It was a profoundly moving experience. Cause he's a guitarist too. He collects guitars, and the movie is about the Smokestack Twins and their little cousin, whose name is Sammy Preacher Boy Moore, and he's a guitarist, like a blues savant in the history of in the tradition of like a Howlin' Wolf or a Son House or a Robert Johnson or a Tommy Johnson, but he's a young prodigy. He's like 18, 19. He's kicking it with his older cousins for a day, and these dudes is like, they just coming back to town from Chicago. They've been gone for 7 years, and they kind of like legendary hood figures. Like nobody knows, what they was doing. Nobody knows why they've come back. And they pick their cousin up, and they gonna open up a juke joint for the night, and shit goes bad. But the movie is very structurally. It blends a lot of different genres. You know what you in for up front. It's not like Dust Till Dawn where it's just straight one thing and then becomes something else halfway through. We let you know what's up like up top. But at the same time, it does blend a lot of genres. There's a lot of music in it too. It's essentially it's a little bit of a musical too.
So for you, Michael B. Jordan, you had to play two different people.
Correct.
I'm assuming, this was. I went to your social media. You was underground for a minute. Like you wasn't really doing because when you doing Creed, we getting the workouts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm eating. This is what I gotta. You know what I'm saying? You selling the box, selling the body, the whole thing.
Correct.
This one was
Appreciate
like
that, man.
This one was like, nah, I'm underground on this. I'm going to a bad place.
A little bit.
Vibe.
Yeah, this was definitely my most challenging role so far, and I knew it was extremely personal to Ryan. You know what I'm saying? With the story he was trying to tell. And it took a lot of hard work to develop essentially three characters. You know what I'm saying? And how they walk, how they talk different, how they hold their childhood trauma, the way they stand, the way they rest. Those were all individual things I had to kind of build and arc out, and then their dynamics with their significant others and how they react to the other characters around them and their friends. So it was the most layered characters that I've had to play, and they're definitely two extremes of the same person, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to kind of like lock in, get the dialect down. You know what I'm saying? Really get into the bones of these guys, and in a real way, and because twins they're unique individuals. They're not like other siblings. They have a psychic connection, man. Like their spirit is a spiritual connection. Like, and doing the research, I got a chance to meet a couple of Ryan's friends. They're twins, and hear their stories as kids and things they would get into and experiences and they're kind of like celebrities. 'Cause you walk around, people stare at you. They're not sure if they're looking at the same thing or not. You know what I mean? Right. So they had this kind of this draw to them that we wanted to kind of bring to the brothers. And usually one twin is really good at something that the other one's not. You know what I mean? Because you're always around that person. So if he was really good at math, you know what I'm saying, one brother probably wouldn't really care too much to learn math as much, or really like or business, or you know what I'm saying, or being good with money, or being good with business or whatnot. So, in this story, we really wanted to show, how strong they were while they were together, but then also, what happens when they're away from each other.
Did it you ever play with you at all? Because you hear sometimes actors that go into these roles, and physically it fucks with them, emotionally it like they almost have to come out of it, get a little therapy, retune, and kind of recalibrate themselves.
I think the last time when I was talking about with Panther, with Killmonger, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I mentioned that with you, that was something I went through, and all these characters stay with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put so much time and you building them and walking in their shoes. It's tough to. They're always going to be a little bit with me. But this one, man, it makes you want to explore yourself a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Your family, how you think, how you most important to you. You know what I'm saying? The lengths you're willing to go to protect the things that you love. You know what I'm saying? And these guys are special, man. This is I can't wait for you guys to see these characters, man. It's pretty special.
It's the best he's ever been. As somebody who's seen him be really good, a lot up close. This one was different. It's a different type of performance from him, and I'm really proud of him. And the characters are very dynamic. He brought a life to these guys that I think is really gonna impact culture.
Did you have to do something differently as somebody who's worked with him in many different ways? You, Coogler, as a director, where you're like, all right, was there preparation you had to do to get more out of him?
Absolutely, that was the biggest one. Was introducing him to my buddies Noah and Logan Miller, who they're actually from the North Bay. They from up top, not far from where Pac went to high school.
Right, Marin County.
Yeah, exactly, Marin County. And they, I knew them and kind of watched the interactions, and they're writers and filmmakers. You know what I'm saying? So I thought they would be great at kind of like writing down and talking Mike through the psychology of what it's like to have an identical twin, somebody who you always around, you've been in utero with them.
Sharing clothes,
sharing bedroom, sharing everything.
And some of the insights to those conversations, it really opened the script up. Like they were kind of trying to explain to me. The most ironic thing about it with talking with them, and they street dudes, you know what I'm saying? They were street dudes before they was filmmakers. And I noticed whenever I'm with them, they always are right next to each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like whenever you have an interaction with them, they'll come to your house, they'll sit down right next to each other. And then one day I asked them while we was researching, I said, hey, when y'all are always next to each other, is that for y'all or is that for me? And they was like, oh, it's for you. You know, and they say they learned over their lives that it makes people more comfortable when they can see both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
They said as soon as we got a problem with you, the first thing we're gonna do is
separate.
You know,
because where your mind gonna go? Where your attention gonna go?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, bro, that's crazy. and the other thing I asked him, I was like, man, have y'all ever had a one-on-one fight? And it was like, only with each other.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Why would I fight for him? Hey, boy, it's two of me.
So anytime you're dealing with a twin, you getting jumped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, that is hilarious. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So I mean, just that mindset, you know, was really interesting to me. But I had to provide him with a lot of support, like
Beth McGuire, my dialect coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of really, we worked through, you know, how they walk. You know, Smoke, the older brother, you know, he a little bit more grounded, serious. You know what I mean? That doesn't do a lot of talking because Stack's a little bit more charismatic. You know what I'm saying? More of a mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? A little more airy, you know what I'm saying? Just wanted to do the subtle differences, or you really tell them apart outside of the clothing or whatnot. And it was something interesting that we wanted to play on of, like, you know, when they came back into town, you know, people didn't really know which one was which. You know, we really wanted to kind of play on, you know, which one is you? You know what I'm saying? A little bit, and that added to the mystique and the mystery of them throughout the film as well. So it was cool.
And this is for you guys, you directing and you acting. This is how many? 5 films?
Fifth, yep.
5.
Yeah.
And is there another Creed on the way?
Yeah. Like, hopefully, look at it, man. Hopefully down the line. I'm not in a rush.
Right.
You know, I'm getting ready.
Because you've had so much. I mean, that last, bruh.
Appreciate it.
It got
man.
better and better. And, like, you know, you don't always see that, bro.
Nah, for sure.
And that's what you're hearing, right? You don't always see, like, okay, 1 was dope. 2, oh shit. 3, oh. Yo,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
appreciate
you
that,
don't get
bro.
to see that a lot.
Not at all, man. I mean, I'm you know, following his shoes and his footsteps. He paved the way for us to kind of do something different and put my own twist on it. And but I audience fatigue, man. I don't want to like run anything to the ground. Like, I think me and Coog are really selective, and we're not out here chasing, you know what I'm saying, the money and the attention and nothing like that. So I want to do it when it's right, when the story tells me it needs to be done. But hopefully in the future it might be a character I might be able to go back to one more time. I like the idea of passing it off. You know what I'm saying? What the next generation looks like. I kind of teed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? But still unsure where the story's going. But right now, getting ready to direct this film, Thomas Crown Affair, which is one of my favorite movies.
And you're directing, not
directing and starring.
Oh, and starring.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
like Creed 3.
Yeah, like Creed 3. It's something so personal to me, you know what I mean? And Coog really pushed me to take care of this one.
The last one was Pierce Brosnan,
Pierce
right?
Brosnan, yep, in 99.
And that's 20 years ago,
Rene
so?
Russo, yep. That's
More.
about 20, it's going on 30 years.
Yeah.
That was
Wait, and was that the first of it then?
That was the second one.
That was the second one. Okay.
First one was in '68 with Steve McQueen.
It's a book, right?
Faye Dunaway, book as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
After the book with Steve McQueen and Faye Dunaway.
Yep.
Then they
Redid it in 99. And you know, 30 years later, you know.
How far along are you on this?
I'm in pre-production right now.
We installed him from
We
stole him from his own movie to come promote.
My team right now in Italy just, you know, doing some scouting and stuff like that. And we start July this summer, so I'm getting ready to go kick off.
Bro, you realize the crazy stunt that this guy, like, in addition to everything else?
Bro.
No, but listen, he now has the Creed franchise. It's in his back pocket. Like, if I need, like, in 5 years from now, things are a little slow. He's like, you know what? Let's hit him with this 3 and 4.
Hey, Rosenberg out of pocket. Talking about you in his back Creed.
I got him.
We front pockets, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but even for you now with the Marvel situation and Black Panther 3, have you got? No, we got a bad connection. No, but is that where are we in that journey? Because you know people are ready.
I mean, look, man. I hope to live a long time, be in good health and spirits. We finna put sinners out. And I mean, we also like working at a deficit with this movie, right? Because it's not an adaptation. It's not IP. People don't know the comic book. They don't know who the Smokestack Twins are until we tell them.
Right.
So with this, like, we got to keep the focus on Sinners. You know, all the way up till release. You know, we only got 2 weeks in IMAX before Thunderbolts comes. So I'm all that. And then, you know, once we done with that, you know what I'm saying, and go home, take a nap, drink some coffee. You feel me? Get back, you know, breathe some Bay Area air. I'm gonna get to work on that. Black Panther 3.
But there is a small plan for you to get back to that right now. It's not.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Ryan, I thought about you recently. There's a lot of Bay Area people in WWE right now, right? There's actually 2 twins. You brought up twins.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yep.
So the Usos are these twins, Samoan brothers from the Bay.
Yep.
Then they got a cousin, Jacob Fatu, who's from Sacramento.
Yep.
Who actually said, you know what I mean, on WWE television.
Yep.
That happened.
Yep. Yeah, Shaq like our distant cousin. You know what I'm saying? Down the street.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I ended up in the barber chair next to Jacob Fatu, and he's talking. And I'm like, yo, this feels like a Ryan Coogler conversation. Like, how Bay Area?
It's Northern Cali.
So where does it go? Is it literally all, like, where's the lines of where you start sounding slang-wise that way?
Look, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The internet changed everything, right? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's slang is the same, but you know, California is, you know, I'm gonna get into anthropology with you now, bro. Because I've done been all up and down, right? Like, because Ebro, you spent some time in SAC, like high school,
I went high school there,
So I went to college in SAC, and played football there. They are incredibly similar to us, bro. But they also got certain street politics that's more aligned with Los Angeles. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So the Bay didn't have Crips and Bloods and all that in the 80s and 90s. I don't know where it's at today.
I mean,
but SAC did.
Yeah, SAC got a hardcore, color aligned gangbang culture. You feel me? Like that we don't have. Our culture is more aligned to the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? To the Black Panthers and the gangbanging, it didn't catch on, right? But in terms of like how they look, how they talk, how they sound, the music they listen to, that's very Bay Area, bro.
Wow.
And it's the same with Stockton. Stockton bang colors too, but they'll sound like us because Mac Dre was out there for so long.
Yeah.
And then Sebo was coming back and forth from the Bay.
And SAC.
Yeah. So it's only an hour drive from us. You know what I'm saying?
So it really it goes from San Jose all the way to Seattle. Honestly, and because I lived in Portland for a while. And
they like
the
us.
Slang.
Yeah.
You know, Pacific Islanders, Mexicans,
Blacks,
Filipinos.
Yeah. We all kind of and we get along real well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody moved together.
Yeah, we move together. And once you get, like, Fresno got its own culture too, like the Central Valley, and they almost like they a lot like us too, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? But then once you hit like that Grapevine, I would say is where
Bakersfield.
Yeah, and LA culture is so dominant and pervasive. You know what I'm saying? Once you pass that, you know what I mean? Like it's LA to you in San Diego. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you put us together, people that's really from any part of California, like we very similar, bro. Like when I'm with my LA homies, bro, it's so bro, you know, it's like family.
Well,
you know
most
what I mean?
people listening to this conversation don't even understand how big California is. Like,
Well, it would take up like 5 states on the East Coast, right?
yeah, it would be.
Oh, more.
It's the
Easy,
equivalent of
yeah,
like
easy,
it's the
easy.
equivalent of like Virginia to Atlanta,
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
at least.
But I'm telling you, bro, like a real LA person and a real Bay Area person, a real Fresno cat, a real Sacramento cat, a real Stockton cat, we like this, bro. Like when you put us together, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's like a few things that'll be slightly different, you know what I mean?
I'd love to hear Coogler and Mike jump in here. The business of making films versus making episodic TV shows and streaming. Like, how are you guys doing? And we can start with you, Coogler. How are you figuring out where to make your investments? Because you guys are making these decisions for yourselves right now, right?
That's a fucking brilliant question, bro. Man, I mean, you can answer too, because you've been working in both for forever.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been like slowly using my star power and my success in front of the camera to like leverage the deals. You know what I'm saying? To find a studio that's willing to, you know, to have a home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who's gonna give me an overall deal? You know, first look deal. Started off exclusive. Then, you know, moving over to first look. I'm over at Amazon right now, and just finding the right balance between TV, film, using myself as leverage to star in the movies that I'm producing at first, and then as you build credibility under your production company, now you're off winning other projects that I don't have to necessarily be in. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be. You know, I'm around it in development. You know what I'm saying? Producing it, finding the talent or whatnot. But doesn't necessarily have to be there every day, you know what I'm saying, through and through. Got my executives doing that, you know what I'm saying, working with other showrunners to help build those projects. I got the show The Greatest with Ben Watkins. It's getting ready to go right now in Toronto. A three-part series of Muhammad Ali's life that I'm getting ready to do. Option is this YA novel, Fourth Wing, that's set up over at Amazon as well. That's getting ready to go. And yeah, man, just trying to find the, you know, what your brand is. You know, what kind of projects do you want to align with myself? And I've always been something that's kind of, you know, been really universal. You know what I'm saying? Specific in some areas, but very universal as a brand I wanted to build. And just been, you know, continuing to do the work, man. Find the projects. It all starts with the IP too. You know what I'm saying? You got to find the article, find the book, find the story that you want to tell, and then use what you got to get it greenlit. Yes, sir.
It's a hustle. It's a hustle.
1,000%.
Yeah, for us, we got and Mike, you got to tell me what your company name is, bro.
Oh, Outlier Society Productions.
Yep. So our company is Proximity Media, and we built with the mandate of bringing audiences in closer proximity to subjects that are often overlooked. For sinners, it's the subject that's often overlooked is that Delta blues music was the most important contribution to global popular culture that America has ever made, you know, and nobody talks about that, nobody thinks about that, you know what I mean? But it's almost inarguable.
It's a foundational,
you know? Yeah,
popular music form.
Foundational to all the things that are pop now.
That's right.
You know, it started right here in this small part of Mississippi, right? And our film is a big, crazy vampire movie shot in IMAX, built to bring audiences in closer proximity to that concept. You know, we aim to do that in film, we aim to do that in television, and in audio, right? So looking at our projects, you know, we want to work with inspired creatives. We want to work with, you know, we have produced Mike's first feature film, right? You know, and knowing Mike, he deserved to be a feature filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? On that landscape, like that for us is a dream to find people who deserve the thing that they haven't done yet. You know, so we're looking for that in television. We're looking for that in film. We're looking for that in audio. And it's beautiful, man. Like I'm really enjoying it. I get to work with my wife every day. Get to work with my buddy Sev. On the music side, our composer for this film, Ludwig Göransson, who did all our films together. He also did Oppenheimer. Did the music for The Mandalorian. You know, he runs our music side. So we do the same thing on the music side. We got a soundtrack coming. I can't wait for you to hear. Incredible artists on that. And yeah, it's really fun to make things that feel like events, but also, you know, bring people closer to subject matters that maybe ain't on the front of their mind.
That's dope. And so it is ultimately a big grind on both sides because you hear so much fear, or maybe fear is the wrong word, but trepidation, cautiousness in the game right now. You know, this talk of like films are struggling or, you know, TV and this and that or streaming services. You hear so much about the business.
It's reality to it. Yeah, it's reality to everything they're saying.
It's evolving and changing, you know what I'm saying? And you got to keep up with the times, you know what I'm saying? You got studios looking for streaming services because that's, you know, a lot of the kids, a lot of people right now, they're getting their content on, you know, tablets and phones and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Getting out of the theaters. So, like, we want to create movies that are events, you know what I'm saying? Getting people back into the theater, especially in IMAX, you know, large format films, you know, shooting on, you know, 65 millimeter, you know, IMAX cameras, big, huge, you know what I'm saying? The same ones, you know, Nolan's are using. So, you know, it's a balance, and I feel really blessed and fortunate to kind of be a part of that culture that can shift it, you know, and kind of, and nudge the way that entertainment is moving. Especially in animation too, you know what I'm saying? Animation, comic books, you know, I'm really big into anime and stuff like that. So being able to bring that to the forefront, you've seen a huge anime surgence, and especially in American culture now. And I'm actually really excited about that because you're seeing more things. You got this guy, you know, Tim Miller, Blur Studios is doing this thing, Love, Death, and Robots. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? The Secret Level, which is great over at Amazon. You're seeing video game IP turning more into like building more content. These video games now look like movies. You know what I'm saying? The technology is coming such a long way. So being a part of those conversations and pushing that culture forward has been super important to Outlier too. So it's been cool.
Go check Sinners. IMAX.
I'm in.
April 18, 16 in New York, you said.
Yeah, you can get one 16th to 17th. In the big cities, we got early showings. Try to get the IMAX ticket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely an experience.
Yeah, it was filmed for that reason. We got film prints being made. It's only 10.
What's that mean?
Yeah, so man, I'm finna get historical again, but film prints was the projection was actually how we used to watch movies coming up.
Okay.
As time has gone on, we've gotten away from that. We use a digital technology now, called a DCP, a digital cinema package, where they basically projecting a high resolution file. But you're not getting that experience of 24 frames a second coming through. Yeah, it's a different vibe, and it's a technology that's being phased out. Warner Brothers came through and they made film prints for this movie. You know, for the first time in a long time. A black movie is going to be on film prints. It's been reserved for like your James Bonds and your Chris Nolan movies. Right. It's happening for us now. And New York is one of the cities where it's going to exist. It's going to be at the Lincoln Square IMAX. Yeah. But it's also we got 70 millimeter cracking off at the Alamo in Brooklyn. That's gonna be it's only 5 of those.
Please go see that.
It's only 5 of those in the world. So you know, I want people, I want everybody to get in there, but also, man, I want us to get in there.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Well, it sounds like too
that.
what you're saying, musically speaking, just aside from the vampire and the movie aspect.
Yes, sir.
There's a thread in here of this kind of
analog,
organic thing that you want us, a tactile thing almost that you want us to tap into.
It's become luxury, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
Like vinyl coming back is mad expensive. People buying vinyl.
Exactly. No, the West Side Gun vinyls, bro, is $1 billion. You know what I mean?
No, that Makami, forget it. Forget it. $1,000 a copy.
That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, man, it deserves you, right? But in the 70s when vinyl was popping, wasn't nobody thinking about it. That's just how you listen to it, right? You know what I'm saying? When you went to go see Malcolm X in the theater, when you went to go see whatever your favorite movie is, Devil in a Blue Dress, paid in full. These was film prints. You know what I mean? And then it went DCP, and now the film print is reserved for,
luxury.
Yeah, people gonna look like us. You know what I'm saying? Quentin can get a film print done. You know what I'm saying? The big homie Chris, he can get a film print done. We got one.
Right.
So I want to make sure that in New York and Dallas and Oakland and San Francisco, Chicago, we can, folks coming out to go see it like that as it was intended.
Yeah. Yo, give it up, man. These guys are good, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate these guys. Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler. These guys are good.
Man.
These guys are good, man. Go see Sinners, man. Love y'all, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Quality
Thank you
human
so
beings.
much.